The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And time for Head to Headlines. What this is you texting in, based on the headline alone, what story you want to hear more about. We're going to give you two headlines, and you just judge by that alone. Now, you got to pick carefully, because we'll never talk about the other story again. We had them all up, and then after a song, we'll come back. We'll play Blink here in a second, and then after that, we will do the story. So let's get into it. Here we go. Texting, remember, with this one, 312-591-8300. Headline number one. Man accidentally shot himself in the leg playing basketball at St. Paul Elementary School, police say. Couple
questions there.
Couple questions there, if that intrigues you. Texted headline number one, but not until you hear headline number two, which is this. Stanwood farmer strikes man with pitchfork in goat argument.
Sounds like he had it coming, you know?
I don't know what happened there.
Who wouldn't have done that?
Yeah, the police involved with both of these, by the way. And choose one right now. Headline number one or headline number two. Which story do you want to hear more about? Again, we'll never talk about the other story again. Text in right now, 312-591-8300.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Congratulations to Danielle from McHenry, who ended up winning the trip to see Blink-182 in Miami. GTFO with Brian and Kenzie on Q101, but it also goes through Lauren's show. Next chance to win, and Brian Phillips in the afternoon. So 11 a.m. is your next chance to win for Fall Out Boy in Los Angeles. That's this week's trip. Incredible.
Text. We just got this text.
Yeah.
And it was like, so who won Fall Out Boy? I'm like, well, it's not over. It takes a second.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
yeah.
still have a chance to win.
Yeah, you get qualified at 7 like we did earlier today. You get that $100 gift card, but the contest will go all week, and then next Monday we'll call somebody again and send that one on. We'll have another trip next week and another trip after that.
Do you want to give the keyword real quick before time expires? We got 2 minutes.
You've got 2 minutes. Sugar. 312-591-8300. Text sugar. You have a minute and a half now to do that to get into the Fall Out Boy in L.A. and a $100 gift card, all for you right there with Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Now let's get to the headlines where you've already texted in. You chose a headline that you want to hear more about in that story. So two stories. Here was headline number one. Man accidentally shot himself in leg playing basketball at St. Paul Elementary School, police say.
Good Lord.
I like that it's alleged. Like the police, like they say it, but you don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah, the police said this, but the guy was bleeding from the leg playing hoops in an elementary school, which, by the way, when you go back to an elementary school gym, it's so awesome because the court is so small.
You feel huge.
Oh, you can, like it's just incredible. It's
Should
a great
we find
feeling.
an elementary school to play basketball at today?
Would that look weird going into an elementary school?
Yes. Yep. I don't think we should be soliciting for a group meetup at an elementary school on the radio.
Hey, crew members, come on out.
Yeah.
Big meeting.
Yeah.
Big Q crew meeting.
I'm going to side with Kenzie on this one.
Not good.
Let's take a
Not
pass.
good.
We can play basketball a lot of places. That was headline number one. Headline number two and had the headlines was, also from the police, Stanwood farmer strikes man with pitchfork in goat argument.
He had it coming.
Well, we'll find out because that's the one that was chosen. A lot of people did want to hear more about the basketball situation, but I think they just kind of, the headline tells you what happened. I don't know why he had a gun in elementary school playing basketball.
There's some unanswered questions there.
Yeah, I guess there
in
is.
fairness.
Well, it's very sad. You'll never hear that story because here we go with Stanwood, Washington. That's where this came from, the state of Washington. Two men in a Stanwood dairy farm got into an argument in a barn. Deputies arrested one for investigation of assault. Now, right there, let's just start right. That's just the byline. Why did the other guy not get arrested if two guys were fighting each other in a barn? Usually they arrest both people or kind of look at, okay, it was his fault, so we'll let the other guy go.
I think in the eyes of the law, if one has it coming, like Kinsey said, not a crime.
It's early. We don't know if he had it coming.
We'll find out.
Maybe the guy's a psychopathic killer and for some reason arguing about goats.
That would be less fun.
Yeah, it would. So let's see what happened here.
Okay.
This happened in Stanwood. After getting into an argument about goats Wednesday, two Stanwood farmers took to blows until one hit the other with a pitchfork, according to the Snohomish County Sheriff's Office. We can break that down right there. What possibly could you argue about about goats?
Was he stealing his goat?
So let's make the list. Stealing his goat.
Stealing goat.
Goats
Borrowing goat milk without asking.
I was going to say, goats provide milk, right? So,
You can milk a goat.
yeah, they got nipples.
That's right.
Yeah.
Can milk a goat. So stealing goat milk. I would say another would be letting his goat mount the other guy's goat without asking. That throws a wrench in things.
Yeah, that could certainly be in a sticky situation.
Is it a... Where was that? What'd you do?
I'm just imitating what might happen, the Howard Dean scream of what happens when one goat mounts another goat.
So there's that.
Okay. Yeah, what else, Kenzie? What do you think?
I don't know. Why am I the only one with goat scenarios?
'Cause
No
you
one
see-
else has got a goat problem?
Well, you already had 3 off the top of your head, so I figured
I know.
I figured you got 5 more.
Yeah, when a shooter's making shots, you let him shoot.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Pass me the ball there.
Oh my God.
She's in the zone.
Kinsey, give us one more goat problem.
One more goat problem. Could be that what else do they do? They don't like lay eggs or maybe his goat was eating the other goat's like hay.
Is
And
that
he's like,
code
you're
for
gonna
something?
starve my goat to death.
Is hay code for something? He's eating that, that hay?
Eating
eating
that
that
hay?
hay?
I don't know, Brian. Is it? What do you do with goats?
All right, let's continue in the story. So that's what happened. And also,
Oh, wait, real quick. Shannon just texted in. She might be onto something. She said, illegal goat fighting ring?
oh, interesting. One goat was
Oh
on
my
steroids.
God. Do you think goats fight to the death? That would be horrifying.
Probably in Stanwood, Washington.
I know we're not supposed to encourage this, but I'd love to see 2 goats fight.
I kind of
I
agree.
wouldn't. I love goats. They're so cute. They like faint. Maybe that guy kept making his goat faint.
How do you
Him
make a
jumping
goat
out at
faint?
him.
What do you mean faint? They actually faint like a person like falling down?
Yeah, when goats are scared, they like freeze up and they faint.
No way.
You haven't seen that?
No way.
You haven't seen them like fake fall over before? Like they
No.
get all they like get like hard as a rock and then they fall over like with their arms locked and everything. Their legs
Well,
locked.
Sounds like Brian.
With Megan out of town, I know what my wormhole is later on. Watching
It's
goat.
people do it all the time. Like they'll make a noise on accident, like a
Yeah?
car horn goes off, and they'll fall off of like what they're on.
I got to get a montage of goats falling over.
I'll see what I can get on the Facebook page.
Yeah, please get that up after we're done here. So,
You guys didn't know goats fall over?
no.
I'm not really a goat expert.
They'd
Yeah.
be fainting.
When they get scared, you said that happens?
Yeah, like it's like a defense mechanism. Like it's almost like playing dead. Like,
Wow.
Yeah.
I want to drive out. Well, you're out in Elgin, out in your country. There's probably some more goats out there and just kind of scare a bunch of goats and see it in real life.
You're a jerk.
Kinda.
You're gonna get hit with a pitchfork if you play that game.
Well, that's what happened here. So they got in a fight. One farmer hit the other with a pitchfork. I don't know how the guy's alive. You ever see a pitchfork in real life?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, Kenzie has. She's out there
Jeez,
now.
what are you guys doing?
Hayes hasn't seen one.
Why? I'm sorry. I'm not the farmer in the Dell.
Well,
I don't
well,
have a lot of pitchforks near me.
I got to admit, where you live over there in Uptown, that Target up there's a lot of weird characters. I can see some guy standing out front with a pitchfork in Uptown. I can see that.
That Target on Broadway sucks.
Well, I love it. It's the Wild West. It's great.
A little bit.
Okay, so here's the story. Around 5 p.m., 2 farm workers in the 1800 block of Pioneer Highway, sounds like a great highway, were working on a barn, according to the sheriff. The 2 men got, again, a, quote, fight over goats. The sheriff's office spokesperson, Courtney O'Keefe, great name, said one of the men, 39 years old, grabbed a pitchfork and approached the other man, 27 years old. So the older guy went after the younger guy.
It's
He
disappointing.
ain't playing. That's how like he's about to learn what happened in his day.
I mean, 39 is not ancient, like medieval times with a pitchfork, but
This is how we used to do it on my farm.
That's right. Here, I like this phrase here. The unarmed man punched the other one in the face, O'Keefe said. Then the 39-year-old man repeatedly struck him in the head with the pitchfork.
Wow.
So he was beating him instead of stabbing him. He
I
could
was just
have.
going to say that's silly.
So he's got morals.
Well, he wanted to knock him out. He didn't want to kill him.
Yeah. I mean, that took some kind of moral fortitude to not. When you are holding a pitchfork,
I don't think so. I think the only like fortitude there was he didn't want to go to prison.
I don't know. If I'm holding a pitchfork, I want to stab him. People.
Yeah, that's like eating a steak with a spoon. Like, you got a fork right there. Use it. You know what I mean?
Now, here's where the family gets involved.
What? They like tag teamed?
Well, kind of. The unarmed man's brother, who was working in the barn nearby, in the nearby milk room,
I got to get to the milk room.
he overheard the commotion and broke up the fight. O'Keefe said, holy cow. So his brother's over there, and can you imagine you seeing that? Like, you come out, and your brother has got a pitchfork right toward his head.
That'd be bad.
I mean,
I don't think these are scenarios that they're like not used to.
it does seem pretty calm, doesn't it? It seems like it's just a normal
Yeah,
exchange
they're
on the
like,
milk.
okay, you two. Like it has, it's like there's not a lot of shock involved.
I know. I mean, if anybody out there works on a farm, is this normal behavior? Like you get arguments over animals and then you just fight a little bit and then, oh, come on, guys, let's move on from this. Well, you guys are friends. You guys, come on.
You guys love each other.
Yeah.
You guys love goats. You're goat buddies.
So when the brother who was working in the barn's nearby milk room, which sounds really naughty for some reason, a milk room, he overheard the
Like
commotion.
a strip club in the country.
Oh, that'd be a great name for a strip club. The milk room.
That's disgusting. Remember when a listener called your Megan's boobs milkers?
Yeah, I do.
And you got mad?
Yeah, I did. I did get a little mad. Those are my milkers. You can't call them milkers. So when the brother came in, he disarmed the man with the pitchfork, and then the suspect fled. So, dude, you work at the dairy farm. They know where they have your social security number. They have your address. He just ran when the brother grabbed the pitchfork out of his hand and threw it to the ground, and the guy just
Well,
ran.
it's terrifying. If somebody grabs a weapon, you gotta run, man. What if he stabbed him?
I mean, the lesson is you got to hold on to your pitchfork. You can't let somebody take that out of your hands. And then he got scared and he ran, and because he had two brothers and one with a pitchfork. And then he's like, when it started to fight.
He's like, I shouldn't have milked those goats earlier. My hands are all slippery. He lost the pitchfork.
And then the officers found the wounded man sitting on a couch with a bloody towel head to his head, according to the police report.
Well, yeah, he just got hit with a pitchfork. Is this shocking news to you, Brian?
It's such a clinical explanation of what happened. The man reported he was unsure if he was stabbed by the pitchfork or struck. That's normal. I mean, the fog of war.
That rock in a hard place there. Tough to decipher.
I mean, you can't tell what happened.
The fog of war.
Yeah.
Some band of brothers.
Can't tell what happened. He was taken to the hospital for a head wound, of course.
Thank you.
Shortly after, deputies used a police dog to track down the suspect.
Oh.
Wait, he worked at the dairy farm and ran. They didn't know any other way to find him?
He ran away.
But I mean...
Brian, what do you think? He's got a tracker on him? What do you mean?
I mean, I figured he'd go home.
No, what?
That's the first place you look. Don't ever commit a crime.
I'm not planning on it. I just would want to go home and just forget the whole thing ever happened.
But the police won't forget.
But they use that police dog to track him?
Yep, they have great noses.
Yeah, they do. Shortly after, deputies used the police dog to track down the suspect, arresting him for investigation of second-degree assault. He remains in the Snohomish County Jail, still there today.
There's some real characters in that jail.
Yeah.
Could you imagine there's like murderers? They're like, what are you in for? And he's like, got in a big goat fight.
And then you're like,
Like how weird that would be.
Yeah, and you're kind of like, well, what happened? What happened with the goat? What was the situation going on there? And you're kind of like, well, to Kenzie's point, he wouldn't let my goat mount his goat.
Like his goat's just better than mine. What a stuck-up goat.
Oh, God. What do you mean he'd let your goat mount the other goat? And that's the end of the story you guys chose and had the headlines. And we try to do follow-ups on these to see what happened. A lot of times these stories disappear and there's no follow-up.
No, but I'll fly out to the courthouse when he gets released and see if I can get
We
an
gotta
interview with
know
him.
why they fought.
This is really poor reporting by the Herald Net, the Everett, Washington newspaper, because you had this. We need to know why they fought over the goats.
Yeah, go ahead and take a shot at local journalism, Brian.
Well, I know it's falling apart, but I'm just saying, if you're going to do a report.
It's falling apart.
Writers are getting fired everywhere. We were talking about Sports Illustrated earlier. I mean, did AI write this story, you think? Does it seem like an AI clinical story?
No, it's real. It's real. Multiple news sources picked it up, but none of them have the reason for the goat fighting.
You know what? I got the guy's name and his email and his phone
Like
number.
Brian pleading the fifth. He's like, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, please, this is embarrassing. I brought great shame to my family.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to email the writer of the story. I got his email's attached to it and his phone number, too. Dude, don't put your phone number on the internet. Come on.
Someone said they sneezed at a petting zoo and a goat fainted once.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.